The Mikoyan MiG-29 Fulcrum is Ukraine's primary Soviet-era fighter, with around 50 active at invasion start. Poland and Slovakia donated additional airframes, used for air defense and ground attack, suffering heavy losses to Russian missiles and fighters. The Sukhoi Su-27 Flanker is Ukraine's heavy air superiority fighter, with 32 active in 2022. It handled long-range interception and was adapted to carry Western munitions. Several were lost in sustained air combat against Russian forces throughout the war. The F-16 Fighting Falcon is Ukraine's first Western fighter, delivered by the Netherlands and Denmark in 2024. It brought NATO avionics and AIM-120 missiles and was used to intercept Russian cruise missiles and ballistic targets over Ukrainian airspace. France donated 6 Mirage 2005 F-jets to Ukraine, delivered in early 2025. Modified to carry precision-guided munitions with enhanced electronic warfare, they saw first confirmed combat use intercepting Russian missiles in March 2025. The Sukhoi Su-25 Frogfoot is Ukraine's close air support aircraft, flying low-level strikes against Russian armor at high risk from air defenses. Multiple airframes were lost to shoulder-fired and radar-guided missiles throughout the conflict. The Sukhoi Su-24M Fencer is Ukraine's primary strike aircraft, based at Starokostiantyniv, a key Russian missile target in 2022. Later modified to carry Storm Shadow and JDAMER munitions, striking targets deep inside Russian-controlled territory. The Aero L-39 Albatros was originally a jet trainer. The L-39 served Ukraine for pilot training and limited light attack roles. Some supported forward air control duties. Several were destroyed in Russian missile strikes on Ukrainian air bases. The Antonov An-24 is a Soviet-era twin turboprop used for short-range logistics and personnel transport. Ukraine retained a small number for internal airlift to air bases and frontline positions, maintaining operations despite aging airframes. The Antonov An-26 is Ukraine's main tactical transport, used for cargo and personnel missions throughout the war. It supplied air bases and forward positions, remaining operational despite Russian missile strikes targeting Ukrainian logistical infrastructure. The Antonov An-30 is a twin turboprop reconnaissance and survey aircraft retained by Ukraine for aerial monitoring. Also used in a transport capacity, the An-30 was part of the Ukrainian Air Force inventory at the start of the full-scale invasion. The Antonov An-70 is Ukraine's domestically developed turboprop transport, with only a few operational at invasion start following prolonged development delays. The An-70 offers high payload capacity but has seen limited use in active operations. The Ilyushin IL-76 is a strategic airlifter used by Ukraine for heavy cargo in limited numbers. Russian IL-76s were simultaneously priority air defense targets, notably carrying troops during the early Kiev assault in February 2022. The Mil-Me-2 is a light utility helicopter used for observation and liaison. Ukraine operated around 15 at invasion start, though many were non-operational. Vulnerable to modern air defenses, the type saw declining use as the war continued. The Mil-Me-8 is Ukraine's primary medium transport helicopter, with around 60 active at invasion start. Used for troop movement and medevac, during the 2022 Azovstal siege, Mi-8s flew resupply runs under heavy fire. 2 were shot down. The United States transferred 16 Mi-17s to Ukraine in 2022, sourced from Afghan stocks. Used for medium-lift transport, they reinforced the Mi-8 fleet and supported resupply and troop movement missions throughout the war. Mil-Me-24 Hind is Ukraine's primary attack helicopter, with around 60 in service at invasion start. Crews flew low-level nap-of-the-earth sorties, upgraded with NATO radios and exhaust suppressors, striking Russian armor into 2025. Ukraine's defense intelligence acquired a single UH-60A via crowdfunding in 2023 for special forces support. The first Western helicopter in Ukrainian service, pilots reported it significantly outperformed the Mi-8 in reliability. The United Kingdom donated 3 Sea Kings in late 2022, with Germany adding 6 more in 2024. Used for Black Sea reconnaissance and transport, Ukrainian crews completed 6 weeks of training in Britain before taking delivery. Russia operated around 70 MiG-29s and 36 upgraded MiG-29 SMTs at invasion start. Used for combat air patrols and limited strike support, the type played a secondary role as Su-35s and Su-34s absorbed the primary combat tasking. Russia's high-speed interceptor, the MiG-31K variant, carries the Kh-47M2 kinzhal hypersonic missile, striking Ukrainian targets from 2022. Il-78 tanker support extended MiG-31K range, keeping launch aircraft beyond Ukrainian air defense reach. The Su-30SM is Russia's multi-role flanker, used for air superiority and ground attack. Flew air defense suppression missions early in the war. Multiple Su-30SMs were confirmed destroyed at Saki Air Base, Crimea, following Ukrainian strikes in August 2022. The Su-35S Flanker E is Russia's most capable fourth-generation fighter. Used for air-to-air combat and standoff strikes, with around 100 active at invasion start. At least 8 were confirmed destroyed, while Russia continued delivering new airframes throughout the war. The Su-57 Felon is Russia's fifth-generation fighter, used to launch Kh-69 cruise missiles from standoff. Operations expanded through 2024 and 2025. Ukraine claimed to have shot one down, the type's first confirmed combat loss in history. The Su-24 is Russia's swing-wing strike aircraft used for precision ground attack in the war's early phase. Multiple airframes, including Su-24MRs, were confirmed destroyed at Saki Air Base, Crimea, following Ukrainian strikes in August 2022. The Su-25 Frogfoot is Russia's close air support aircraft, with around 200 active at invasion start. Flying low-level missions over Ukraine, the Su-25 accumulated more confirmed losses than any other Russian fixed-wing type, with over 41 destroyed. The Su-34 fullback is Russia's best primary strike aircraft, with 86 active at invasion start, responsible for the bulk of guided glide bomb deliveries on Ukrainian targets. At least 41 were confirmed destroyed by Oryx, with Russia delivering new airframes throughout the war. The Tu-22M3 is Russia's supersonic bomber launching Kh-22 and Kh-32 missiles at Ukrainian cities. Around 55 were active at invasion start. At least 12 were damaged or destroyed in Ukraine's Operation Spiderweb, air-based drone strikes on June 1, 2025. The Tu-95MS Bear is Russia's primary cruise missile platform, with around 50 active at invasion start. Routinely launched Kh-101 missiles at Ukrainian targets in mass strikes. At least 8 were hit in Ukraine's Operation Spiderweb air-base strikes in June 2025. The Tu-160 is Russia's supersonic strategic bomber, with fewer than 20 operational throughout the war. Used to launch Kh-101 cruise missiles. After Operation Spiderweb damaged the Tu-95 fleet in June 2025, the Tu-160 assumed a greater strike burden. The Beriev A-50U mainstay is Russia's airborne early warning aircraft, with 9 operational at invasion start, providing battlefield control for combat units. One A-50U was shot down over the Sea of Azov on January 14, 2024, a $330 million irreplaceable loss. The Aviation Il-22M Koot B is Russia's airborne command post, used to coordinate combat operations. On January 14, 2024, one was critically damaged in the same engagement that destroyed an A-50U over the Sea of Azov, landing at Anapa but deemed beyond repair. The Aviation Il-78 Midas is Russia's aerial refueling tanker supporting Tu-95MS, Tu-160, and MiG-31K strike operations. One Il-78M was reportedly damaged in Ukraine's Operation Spiderweb airbase strikes in June 2025, threatening Russia's long-range strike capacity. The Aviation Il-76 Candid, Russia's heavy transport used to move troops and supplies throughout the war. Il-76s were intended to land paratroopers at Hostomel in February 2022. Ukraine claimed to have shot 2 down carrying paratroopers, though the claim is disputed. The Kamov Ka-52 Alligator is Russia's most modern attack helicopter, leading the hostomel air assault on February 24, 2022. It sustained the highest losses of any Russian rotary-wing type. Over 66 confirmed destroyed, 62% of all first-year attack helicopter attrition. The Mi-28N Night Hunter is Russia's night-capable attack helicopter, used for close air support and anti-armor. Around 13 were confirmed destroyed in the first 2 years of the war. One was struck by a Ukrainian FPV drone in Kursk in August 2024, damaging its tail rotor. The Mi-24 Hind is Russia's veteran attack and escort helicopter. Over 13 were confirmed destroyed in the conflict's first 2 years, primarily by shoulder-fired air defense missiles during low-level operations in the early phase of the war. The Mi-8 is Russia's primary medium transport helicopter, used for troops, supplies, and medevac. Over 48 were confirmed destroyed by Oryx. Several were lost during the June 2023 Wagner mutiny, and others were later downed by Ukrainian FPV drones. The Mi-26 Halo is Russia's heavy-lift helicopter used to move large equipment and supplies. Operated in limited numbers throughout the war. At least one was confirmed destroyed in a Ukrainian SBU drone operation targeting Russian air assets in January 2026.